we're back. Welcome back to the MobilityWOD. A couple things I want to show you today. One is my latest creation this is the two lacrosse balls, but it's taped together with that vet wrap. It's that 3M wrap. And I've been digging with this, and I find it to be a little bit more sticky. You can traction with it a little more effectively. It doesn't look tidy. You can spend like $13 to get one of these glued together, 20 bucks. But this is vet wrap, that 3M awesome stuff they used to wrap horses with, and then it became comfortable for human beings. Take a look at that. We're going to use that later. Today I'm going to start by showing you guys a simple way to unglue your neck and tie that into your shoulders. One of the problems that we get all the time, especially if people are missing internal rotation of their shoulders, that shoulder comes forward in the socket, and then that leaves me vulnerable to not being able to extend and rotate. So as the shoulder comes forward, I expose my shoulder, my elbow, to a horrible valgus force, which is a knee-in force. So having the shoulder come forward and exposing the elbow is the equivalent of squatting and having my knee come in. It exposes a lot of force at the elbow, and those things can get freaky hot. So one of the nice things that you can do is just do a neural gliding. And this idea is about, hey, we already have a tool to kind of free up that thoracic spine, create some mobility back there. Remember that the thoracic spine is a sink for a lot of the neural slack to your arms. You can't pull your brainstem out of your head much further, but you can feed a lot of neural tissue slack, literally your spinal cord nerves, from that thoracic spine. Your sympathetic chain ganglia back here, there's a lot of nervous tissue there. Being supple through the nervous system means that when I take up slack at this end, there's actually a kind of a self-equalizing mechanism out. So gliding that thing and using the head as a turner. So here's what we do. We don't want to stretch the nervous system. We want to floss it through the tunnels. So I'm going to push one hand down. The other hand goes up, and I turn and look at the down hand. This is a high neural tension position. So is this, ironically. So is this, ironically. So is this, ironically. A lot of our positions that we do end up being in high neural kind of compromise. But if I put the hand down, one hand goes up. By turning away, I'm giving slack to the hand that's up. And then I'm going to rotate and use my head, and I'm just going to hit those corners. Touch it, come, touch it. If this lights up your elbows, take a break, shake it out, leave a little bend in there. But this should be pretty gentle. But this ungluing is very effective at just pulling those things through. And after you glide for about 30 seconds, 1 minute or less, you might find that you feel a little bit more loose and free. So try that. That's a really great start at this. It's a complicated problem. Usually it also has a neural dynamic component. You definitely want to get on the lacrosse balls and open those things up. We're going to tie this in. So here's what we're doing right. On the CrossFit main site WOD is heaving snatch balance. I want to get into the position that I'm potentially going to land in. So I'm going to be practicing this position. I'm going to wind myself up, get my butt as close to the wall as I can, and then I can literally place my feet wide, good jumping position, landing position, and push my butt into the ground. You'll notice that I can practice being in a good position, which is that kind of single leg squatting thing that we were talking on the main site yesterday. Right? If I was doing a pistol, I wouldn't pistol out like this. There still seems to be a lot of discussion about where your feet should go, and that's a strange pistol position. Go ahead and give it a try. You don't want pistol in that position. So when the requirements of flexibility for both legs, this is a nice place. And then the key to the thing that makes this good is that I can really wind that up. I keep my back in neutral. And what I'm showing you tonight is a bunch of mobilization for people that we take our back out of it. So then I'm just going to block my elbows and shove out. And it is so bad. This is so awful, and I'm really sorry about that, but this is the most effective way. This against the wall is great, but it hits an entirely different part of the adductor. This part, I really feel like hits this inner capsule, kind of a little bit closer to medial parts of the groin. So let's go ahead and hang out here a couple minutes. Let's do some contract, relax, and then keep taking up the slack. You'll notice that I put my toes down and slide my heels out. It is wretch and mundo. Okay, so that's homework number 1. 2 is that since I'm already up on the wall, I'm just going to go ahead and drop myself into figure 4 and drop the butt down. And this is a nice way to just casually open up the back. Back is supported on the ground. Many of you who have kind of this problem of being able to I can support the knee here and just camp out. I can rock back and forth, looking for that. But this is another way, since I'm already on the ground, and a lot of people can relate to this, but this just blocks this into position. And I can still do that contract, relax. Back is still pretty neutral. It's coming up a little bit. It doesn't matter so much. So go ahead and explore both of those ranges. This shouldn't hurt the gapping force from the knee. If it does, we need to support the outside of the knee, and you can still push in and try to drop your butt to the ground. Really get some of that butt, okay? Last piece, trying to get into the hamstring. Well, I was going to say, since you're here, take a look. Drop your cross balls into your back. Oh, that's awesome. Then, wind yourself up against the wall if you can. And then go and put your arms up over your head and hit that position. Whatever. You're going to monkey around, invent your own business. Last thing, nice hamstringer. You can sit through a doorway, or if you have an awesome squat rack, you're good to go. You can just slide your leg through the doorway and hook your leg up on the wall, on the door jamb. And you can do that, contract, relax, and then sneak a little bit further through. And this is a nice way. One of the things to keep in mind is because your leg is straight, there's a lot of neural tension potentially here. If you get lit up, put a slight bend in your knee. A lot of physical therapists are afraid of spending a lot of time under high neural compromise and neural tension because we're pulling the nerve past any structure in the back. But if I'm fine, my back is neutral, I shouldn't be afraid of going and stretching. But if that feels weird, touch tension, come out, touch tension, come out. If you get that pain nerve, put a slight bend in your knee. That'll release all that stuff. So it's about stretching on the ground tonight, but it's about prepping for the snatch balance tomorrow. Okay? We'll see you tomorrow.